In 20 years, we'll be flying cars and everything will be, I don't know. I'm looking at flying cars and everybody having robots and crazy stuff like that.
It's either gonna be a lot worse or a lot better.
The future as like you see in those movies with like the rail trains on the like in Wally.
Get your gun license ready. Know how to grow your own foods. No matter what ethnicity you is, you have to get prepared. It's going to be a World War III, World War IV. That's just my opinion.
What do you think the world is going to look like in 20 years?
Hopefully I'm wrong, but the direction our current president is taking us in is very questionable, very downhill, very backwards thinking. So hopefully it's not going to reflect that in 20 years where we're backwards rather than us going forwards. As far as technological, definitely AI will be more integrated into our daily lives. I feel like because the way AI is kind of like taking over some fields already, there's like robots for waitresses, and there's all these types of technological advancements that we've been making. It's interesting to see how our workforce will be reflected in 20 years.
I mean, everybody wants something, everybody needs something, so I feel like technology will just make everybody get everything that they want and we'll be happy.
Do you trust the people in power now to use that technology for good, or maybe use it in ways that don't benefit the population?
I don't trust anybody that got too much control and anything like that. I mean, like, control is all about the people and what we work with and what we do to make things better.
Well, with the way things are going right now, it's going pretty bad, but if we make the change, we could make it way better, and that's plenty of time. I mean, look what happened in the past 20 years now.
In 20 years, I think the world is very broad, but I think United States will be in a frenzy because everybody looking down their phone. Nobody's really paying attention to what's going on in the world. My uncle told me one thing for real, and I always look at this for real. He said, how many times a day when you go outside do you look up? I said, never. That's where it's coming from.
We need to like start having events more since COVID's kind of not gone, but I feel like we could bring back big events and stuff like we used to, 24/7 Walmart.
What makes you think that things are going downhill and that humanity's maybe seeing the best already?
Because why is everything that we eat that we knew that was good for us is bad for us now? Why is everything causing cancer that we already knew that caused cancer? Um, the president, he taking away a certain amount of people for what reason? We could all work together, but it's a war. It's damn sure a mental war.
Are you worried about AI in regards to these technological advances you're kind of alluding to?
I feel like with AI, it's definitely like rapidly improving and just getting more evolved. Because I feel like nowadays there are some things online that it like I'll be like it'll be like one of those AI video things, and I'll be like choosing like, oh, which one is AI, and I'll be like, damn, that wasn't like I got that wrong. Like the AI one I chose was actually the real one, and it was supposed to be the AI one. I'm like, dude. So I feel like AI is definitely evolving for sure.
And I feel like right now we're at kind of a peak of how far the internet can go. Like I don't see much more innovation. I mean, obviously there will be innovation, but I don't think as dramatic of innovation as it was from 1980 to now. I think from now until like 2040, I think we'll see it'll kind of neutralize in the sense that this is kind of where we'll be at. I think the technology we have now will get cheaper and more available, and more people will have access to it, hopefully, and that'll change a lot in the way everyone's connected and the opportunities people have to get involved in the technology. But I feel like the actual like stuff we have on our smartphones and what we have on our computers, I think generally like the possibilities that we have with all that is kind of gonna it's not gonna change that much. Like, it's not gonna get much better.
It will help in making processes easier, but then again, on the other side, it'll kind of like, for example, like jobs and stuff, like what will the jobs be looking like in the future with AI and whatnot. So I feel like that's definitely something to kind of look out for.
In 20 years, would you feel comfortable raising a kid in that environment based on your personal projections on how things might get? Like, will they be thinking, oh, in 20 years it's going to be even worse or better?
I mean, I think if it's bad, I still want a kid, but so I'd make it work, but I want it to be good for them, so I would hope it gets better.
As currently, no. I don't want kids to grow up in what the future I imagine it might be. Vote. Go to your offices, actually educate yourself on who's running and understand where their values are, where they stand on certain issues. And us as a younger generation, it needs to be out in the polls more. The older generation gets what they want because they're predominantly the ones that are going out and voting, and they're the predominant ones in legislature. If we want to change things, we have to be the ones to change it for ourselves.
Now, how do you think that we can be more connected as a society despite having these technological tools like social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which in theory is supposed to bring us together,
Right.
but a lot of people think it might be tearing us apart. So do you think that's the case? And if so, how do we get past that and maybe take a step back in that aspect to feel more connected?
Well, all social media did was take everything and make it smaller. So now you can look at videos of people in Asia and stuff that wasn't privy to, 15, 20 years ago, right? So I believe the way that we can change that is to come outside and speak. Everybody, when you see a neighbor, just speak, right? Everybody is human. Everybody going through their own stuff, no matter what race, size, whatever, right? If you get outside and you speak to somebody, make somebody smile, the world will be a better place.
But I feel like a lot of that did occur due to the pandemic. I'm not gonna lie, I think that was a big reason. And I feel like we're like now experiencing and getting a bit worried about how many people are isolated and how kind of some people are really in their own bubbles and stuff like that. But I feel like that's an after effect of what happened 5 years ago or so. And I feel like that will also fix itself a bit. I don't know, I just don't think there'll be too many more changes compared to because we saw a crazy amount of changes of how life was 20 years ago. I feel like it'll be less dramatic of changes 20 years from now compared to 2000 to now. Now to 2040, I feel like it'll be less dramatic changes.
Do you think the older generation kind of had a leg up on things when it came to getting a better start financially?
Most definitely, especially in the baby boomer generation. Everything financially and economically was cheaper. It costs $1 million to get the same house that someone had back in the 60s. It's definitely different, and unfortunately the minimum wage has not reflected that change. We're still getting paid the same as early 2000s versus it being 20 plus years later, and the minimum wage is still the same.
Do you think there's anything we can do as a society to make things better and maybe have less of the thought that the apocalypse is about to happen?
Personally, for me, as a black man, it's gonna have to be bloodshed. That's my honest opinion. Because they always said, if you want to hide something from a African American, you hide it from the book. You hide it in the book. So, but if we got more knowledge, we're more dangerous, but we also trying to have a world too, though. We're not trying to deal with the same thing that they did to us.